Oh gosh, those are good old days. So this game's about to get underway right now. Game number one, the first match of our top four. It's going to be Hunter versus Paladin. The player on the top is going to be Tang, and the player on the bottom is going to be Raccoon. Pretty solid start here from Tang. He's got Shielded Minibot and Muster for Battle in his opening hand.
And the Quartermaster.
Yep, and a little bit of a clunky start here from Raccoon, but he does pick up Unleash the Hounds. So
which is gonna be really good against the Mustard, but
right, some potential counterplay here. But
it's
I'm not
not
sure.
looking good for the Hunter though.
Yeah, I was about to say his hands look just really heavy.
If he picks up Knife Juggler though, there's a chance.
Yeah, but speaking of Knife Juggler getting picked up, I think that's something that Tang's thinking about right now is do I play this? Do I play Shielded Minibot or do I play Knife Juggler? And I'd like to see Shielded Minibot come first. So that big pressure 2-drops and potential 1-drops drawn from Raccoon. Wow, he's actually going to hold. That's really interesting. I would have thought that he would lead here with Shielded Minibot, protect the Knife Juggler with it, and then Muster for Battle to help to just try to shut up the game from there. But I guess something he's concerned with is not playing into cards like Explosive Trap and not playing into Unleash the Hounds.
It's also interesting to notice that if he did go with that plan and he played Knife Juggler, it could have gotten bowed. But this way, he guarantees that he might be able to Knife Juggler and Muster in the same turn to kill off the board.
So it looks like he's actually just going to lead with Knife Juggler first. So he doesn't want his opponent to play 3-drops, and it looks like he does want this to get bowed, I would imagine.
Yep. Which it looks like it's going to.
Yeah.
Do you think there's merit to just playing Animal Companion? There's no way, right? Because of True Silver?
I think there is merit to it, but I don't think there's as much merit as just bowing it. Because if you play Animal Companion, you've given your opponent such a wide range of cards that can actually answer your Animal Companion. And when you play Bow, you are restricting that range. So it's a much less aggressive play because you're not doing anything on the development side of things. But how do you follow up your Animal Companion? Like, your opponent's not really afraid of what you have in store so much as you are afraid of what your opponent has available. At least I would think so. And I think that's my difference between wanting to play one or the other. But here, I actually would like to see him just Muster for Battle because he's got Coin and Quartermaster next turn. And it's just so much pressure that he can apply to the board that I think it's actually like the strongest thing that's in the game right now.
It's crazy. Especially, have you ever seen 2 Quartermasters get played?
Oh yeah, it's you're not coming back. Yeah, it's forearms, man. So not enough mana to Juggler and Unleash. Oh gosh, that's mana Unleash.
There's no way. There's no way the Hunter could feel like he could still win if he just unleashes this board, right? But you know he's gonna have Quartermaster.
Yeah, I don't think you unleash this board. I think you just go with Knife Juggler, Mad Scientist. Hope you get a pick off, and then consider using Eagle Horn Bow on one of the other guys. But I don't think you would.
That would feel so bad.
You might want to do it just to help protect your Knife Juggler, like force him to take 3 points of damage, force him to use his other guy if he doesn't have something like Quartermaster. But first things first, he's only got a 75% chance. I say only. He's only got a 75% chance to pick off one of these minions here. Like if that juggle goes straight for the face, suddenly it's looking like a really grim board position if you see Quartermaster come out on the other side of the board. So I think it's everything he's thinking about. He's going to go with Animal Companion, it looks like.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to take that 50-50.
Yeah, I think he's feeling really brutal about it. Gets Misha, but that's because this is going to be answered pretty nicely.
You just have to Quartermaster, right? There's no way there's any other play.
I mean, I don't see another. I think Quartermaster is the most efficient way to deal with this. You put you put 6 extra power on the board this turn. You put 9 health on the board this turn. You kill your opponent's 4/4. Like how brutal of a play is this? This is just this is a monstrosity.
Man,
where do you go from here if you're Raccoon?
Better hope your Knife Juggler has a really strong arm. Oh man, Sludge Belcher is actually pretty good here, but the problem is there's another Quartermaster, which just gives him a free trade on the Belcher.
Yeah, really heads up here for him to attack with his Eagle Horn Bow. I think I would have liked to see him do that last turn, but I can see why he held back.
Yeah.
So second Quartermaster here available. I think that's still a fine play. Quartermaster's, as a 5 mana to get 4 power and 7 health on the board. There's just not many more times you're going to be able to utilize that. Of course, he does have a second Muster from Battle, But when you look at the way his hand is constructed, is he ever going to have time to do that?
No.
He's got
'Cause
so
his-
much action going
His
in.
turn
And
7's Dr. Boom, right? So he's not going to hero power or quartermaster on turn 7.
right, and his turn 8 has Tyrion.
Yep.
So you even have an alternate turn 8 play. I don't think you need both those options open.
He's hovering over Lotheb, it looked like.
I don't think there's anything wrong with Lotheb here. I personally would like to see him quartermaster, but
If you Lotheb, are you just passing your turn?
no, I think you're attacking.
Yeah, okay. I guess he's saving the quartermaster for his muster, but I still think it's just stronger if you just play it right now.
Yeah, I mean, if he's
perfect
holding on to quartermaster here, I assume it's so that way he can muster for battle with it later. That's the option he wants. Wow, he's okay.
Did he get the
Oh,
attack
you know what?
off?
I actually really like that attack only because now your opponent's got an option on how they want to attack, and you haven't committed too much to this yet. Like you can still use your Lotheb to pick off the rest of this body, but you've kind of put your opponent in this position where they feel like it's necessary for them to trade this Sludge Belcher into your 3/3. So you give them an opportunity to make a mistake because obviously I think Tang wants get his face attacked here, but you also give your opponent an opportunity to have something like Eagle Horn Bow and put a lot of pressure through this.
Yeah, I think it was like a really low risk but high reward play kind of thing. And he just happened to have the one out. But he's still in a really strong spot, so I don't think he's worried.
I think it's exactly why he did it too. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Low risk, high reward. Second Unleash the Hounds gets picked up.
If that was the second Knife Juggler, I think Raccoon had a chance to come back this turn. But otherwise, it's looking pretty grim.
Yeah, it's not that bad. He's got the how many 2-cost minions are there? 68, 63.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, this is like 63 to 1.
The
Man, he can just,
Doomsayer, you know?
yeah, just smash out the Doomsayer. You know, if he MLG jugglers all these too, he's got a pretty decent chance. So those are some pretty solid ones so far.
Yeah.
I don't really think you can ask for too much more from. I mean, we also don't know what his trap composition is, so I'd like to go hover over that trap and see which one it is. If it's something like explosive trap, I think he's gonna like it a lot less.
If it's snakes, though, it gives him another big opportunity for some knife juggles.
Right.
Do you think Tang is playing Consecrate?
I would tend to think that Consecrate's in here. I know that a lot of players have cut one of them, and sometimes they've cut two.
Mm.
So it is a freezing trap. So I think he's actually... I think that's influenced a lot of the way he's been playing this game. Is because he's been looking for a tempo turn with Mad Scientist.
Yeah. So, do you just slam Dr. Boom here?
Well, it depends on what this trap is. So obviously if this is like...
Right, yeah. He's going to have to test it.
Yeah, if this is Snake Trap, I feel like he's certainly slamming Dr. Boom and just hoping for the best. But I think he's very relieved to find out it's Freezing Trap.
Yeah, and now you can just kill the Knife Juggler.
Yep. And press forward. I'd be pretty surprised if he didn't play Dr. Boom here.
Yeah. Cleaning the Beast is really good.
Pretty big board.
Ooh, Leok might actually be really good here.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, if he's going to go for Leok or if he's just going to go with the safe play here. Or try to roll a Leok, rather.
Right, yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that one before. What's with Misha? Is that what that one's called? I don't know. I only ever see Leok. He does have a copy of Snake Trap in here now, but he doesn't have the Knife Juggler on the board anymore.
Yeah,
but
that's unfortunate. But it's
really
still really strong.
Yeah, really big potential to still swing this board here.
Yeah.
So,
do you like killing the Boombots or just going all face?
I think you kill one Boombot. Oh, he's just going to go all face. Wow.
I actually really like this play. It gives him a couple outs at least.
Oh, Consecrate gets drawn.
Man, that answers our question. Is he running Consecrate or not? Do you like True Silvering, or do you Consecrate and then trade Boombots?
Well, let's do some math here. So he's got True Silver plus Consecrate. He can actually just go for lethal. I think he's just got lethal. I
Yeah.
think.
Oh yeah, he has lethal for sure.
Yeah. That's if he gets the right spots for this. So I would like to see him attack with a Boombot.
And see the trap. Yeah.
Yeah, to see what the trap is, and then consecrate afterwards, and then run in the last Boombot.
Seems like a really good play.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, because then you only need at least 1 damage off one of these Boombots. So if you do it this way, right. Now, the times this doesn't work is when it's a freezing trap, and he's already seen freezing trap, so he may not be anticipating something like snake trap. So that is going to influence the way that he plays this. So from a standpoint of complete knowledge, we can construct a lethal this turn. But, again, he's already seen a freezing trap, and he doesn't know if there's snake trap in here or not.
Right.
So he's gonna get a little bit of bad news here. Down to 7. He's actually still not safe either. I mean, he can still lose this game.
Not. Yeah, Leroy is always an option.
Pretty much.
I don't know if it would be in there though.
Pretty much any source of damage that deals 2 points. Arcane Shot, Lugan Warrior, Stone Tusk Boar. I mean, there's so much stuff in this deck that can actually end this game right now. So a lot of pressure coming from Tang. Freezing Trap gets drawn for Raccoon, and that's not going to do it. So Tang is just going to take this first game here with Paladin.
Now the only play left to do is for Tang to attack with the True Silver to play around Explosive Trap.
Yep. Let's see, make sure he gets that one. Knife Juggler gets drawn. I'm curious if he can actually just lethal him somehow. Yeah, I think he could just go for lethal.
Yeah, you just attack with True Silver and you play around Explosive.
Well, could he play around Explosive with a Knife Juggler somehow too, though? Like just Knife Juggler muster. Just start playing stuff and hope you get enough juggles. So just no trap activation at all, and I think he's more than happy to see that. But regardless of which, Explosive Trap would not have killed him. So a 1-0 lead now for Tang, and so his Paladin's going to be locked.
Yep.
He's going to have to win a game with his other deck, and I believe these are best of 3s, or are these best of 5s going forward?
I think it's best of 3. Oh, they're best of 5s.
Yeah, so these are best of 5s going forward now, so he's actually going to win 2 more games with at least 2 different decks. Conquest format, for those of you just joining us. Conquest is a format that's going to be utilized at Blizzard World Championships this year for Hearthstone, and you have to submit 3. If it's a best of 5 format, you have to submit 3 decks, of course, and you have to win at least 1 game with each of your deck. When you win with a deck, that deck becomes locked. Losing with a deck no longer locks it. If you lose with a deck, you can still queue it up. The goal is to win a game with each one of your decks, and that's how the best of 5 is won. So he's won with Paladin. Notch that one off. He's got 2 more decks left. And Raccoon can still play his Hunter deck and see what he can get done here. So, obviously, Conquest changes a lot of the way these dynamics go. Something we saw in older formats was a lot of heavy snowballing, and I think Conquest is going to do a lot to prevent that.
I really like it. I've been practicing the format a little bit with some testing partners, and it makes you have to build your decks differently too, right? Like you can't have a set game plan where if I ban this deck, that I don't need to worry about these tech cards kind of thing. So I think it's really interesting, and it actually opens up for more deck building because you need to be more well-rounded. So, and you're also not seeing the pure, oh, well, this deck beats Rogue, so I'm just going to play it.
Yeah. You're seeing a lot less counter-comp oriented builds coming in. So straight away, Raccoon's going to go with his Hunter again. Tang's going to queue up Druid here. And he's got Big Game Hunter, he's got Mind Control Tech. How do you feel about this matchup here? If Raccoon only had to use 1 copy of Hunter Creeper in his opening hand, I think he would be in pretty bad shape.
Yeah. Wow, he actually throws away the whole hand. Oh, man.
Oh, 2 Sludge Melters.
If this is 6-0's Hunter with the Hunter's Mark and the Owl, I think Raccoon will definitely have a high chance of winning. But seeing the Web Spinner makes me know it's not 6-0's exact version, but it could be really similar. Oh no, we saw this. It's the mid-range, right? We saw Sludge Belchers, right?
Or
no?
No, we didn't see, I don't
know.
know.
That was Jab, right?
Yeah, pretty sure that was Jab we saw with Sludge Belchers.
Okay. Yeah.
This version, it looked like it was, we saw Houndmasters in here.
Right.
We did see Knife Juggler and Unleash. But, look at this hand from Druid. If he gets to an even close to stabilized point, he's just going to run away with this game.
Yeah, he just needs to get to turn 5. without being too low.
Well, does he need to get to turn 5
he,
before?
he's got there. Turn 5 came early.
Yeah, you know, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket though. This is something you kind of want to like,
Right.
you know, you want to like test the waters with it. You're like, is this enough? Is this enough? And kind of go forward from there.
Do you like coining the shade here?
I actually do like coining the shade a lot, but I also like hero power too. I think there's a lot of merits to
Yeah.
both of those. If you coin out the shade, one benefit you get is you're going to be able to take a more aggressive stance when your opponent has trap openings, and it also the shade starts compounding into a threat. This actually is a big mid-range version, by the way. We see Savannah High main now, so he's looking to really scale heavily into that point. So we have now got a game on our hands. Kind of going back to the original point, it allows you to play a little bit more aggressively when your opponent has trap openings, but at the same time, it really takes a lot away from you when your opponent has like some Houndmaster draws sometimes, because you just that little point of damage that web spinner is going to continuously deal every single turn adds up to what ends up being like sometimes 4 and 5 points of damage, and I think it's what he's looking to prevent.
Definitely. The freezing traps could come into play though. It sets the druid back a little bit, and if he goes too high with the innervate and the coin, it could set him back really far. So it looks like we're just going to see Sludge Belcher, and I really like this.
I like Sludge Belcher a lot here too, because it's one of those spots where you're forcing out kill command if your opponent has it very often. You're forcing out Hunter's Mark if your opponent has it very often, and you don't have too much to worry about after that. So he sees Freezing Trap come down. Second copy of Ancient of War gets picked up. And wow, this is a really, really delicate turn here from Tang, because he doesn't want to pop this trap because he doesn't want to give his opponent too much leverage going into this. He knows there's Freezing and Snake Trap in here, so he might feel tempted to try to pull off some shenanigans, but I think I'd like to see him just wait.
I really like this keeper.
Do you like keepering for silence, or do you like dealing damage there?
I like doing the damage to play around kill command.
Yeah. And also,
but I think silence has merit. Yeah. Prevents Houndmaster and kill command. But I think silence has merit just because if he does kill command, that's damage that's not going to go to your face, and you have all these taunts to back it up. So it's not that bad. But I think Houndmaster would have been a problem.
Yeah. He's going to end up going for face here. He doesn't want to get snake trapped in a position like this. So he's going to get the... Oh, did he attack the minion, actually?
No, it looked like he went face.
Yeah, I don't think... At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It is freezing trap. But I think he should be attacking face here in this spot. Because when it's explosive trap, I think you're like, oh, okay, great. I have an extra body on the board. When it's freezing trap, you still get it procced. And when it's snake trap, you don't get your board flooded.
I have no time for
Right.
games.
And he doesn't have swipe or anything to back it up, so...
He's going to go with Sylvanas here. And again, this is like a pretty big threat that's coming down to Raccoon. And this hand
Do you just play high main? I mean, his Sylvanas was played first, right? So he doesn't steal 2-2?
I don't really think that you have much of an option. I think high main is just kind of your best one pretty much every single time, and you're hoping it works best.
But he also knows that he has a silence, so he could silence it and then just kill it straight up.
I think, honestly, if he sees a silence happen here and Sylvanas get put into this Savannah High main, that he's not like too unhappy about it.
Right.
Because he does have to get this Sylvanas dealt with in some way, and he doesn't want to give his opponent too much from it. So just to see like a straight up trade, I think he'd just be thrilled with. I don't think he's going to get that, but I think he's... Whoa!
He's just going to trade without silencing. That's interesting. I guess he could just still play like a taunt behind this, and it's not that bad because he's still going to have a board. But I was not expecting that trade.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised by that. There's a chance that Tang didn't know entirely the interaction there.
Yep.
And how it worked.
Time waits for no one. Where shall I strike?
He's going to go with Druid of the Claw in charge mode. I like this too, staying a little bit consistent, making sure he plays around Houndmaster, but now he's kind of left himself vulnerable to something like Explosive Trap. And I think that's why he throws out the mistake, partially in combination with the way the Sylvanas panned out as well.
To my side.
So Animal Companion, it's going to be Leok.
I think that's actually his best one.
Yep, I think so too. He's going to get to take out this Sludge Belcher, take out the token with his bow, and then save himself a couple points of life and make sure he finishes off this Druid of the Claw. But he is facing down a monster hand right now. 2 Ancients of War, Sludge Belcher, Ancient of Lore, Shade of Naxxramas, 6 mana Keeper of the Grove, and now a Mind Control tech added to that. How comfortable are you just slamming down a 5/10 here?
I really like slamming down the 5/10. He does have the Hunter's Mark, but I don't think I would really care.
Wow, he goes for a card draw here. And I'm a little bit surprised by that because he just has so much gas in his hand already
Yeah.
that I don't necessarily think he needs extra card draw here. And now he's facing down a 10 power beast, and he doesn't have a way to push through this. He doesn't have like a big game hunter here
He
or
doesn't
anything
no.
yet. Oh
What do you
my
think-
gosh.
What do you think he was drawing for? Oh my
Oh
god.
my gosh. He draws a big game hunter. What a huge draw for Tang.
So I'm just gonna throw that out there that he planned that. He lured because he knew it was 3 cards away.
That's the 3rd time today we've seen big threats get played and big game hunter get drawn.
And it was all a druid.
That is unbelievable. Wow, that is just disgusting. Sludge Rush are going to get played. Not a big surprise. What on earth is going on? Why did he not big game hunter
Don't
the
know.
10 power minion? I don't understand.
Is he
Did
playing
he
around
just-
Ragnaros?
I-
This Hunter's playing Ragnaros now. But I still think you just
He
take
just
that
took-
trade. Even if
15 points of damage.
wait. Yeah, wait, what? Oh my god.
Yeah, he just
He's just
What? just happened. Tang just
Trolled
blundered.
please. Trolled
Tang
please.
just blundered. I cannot believe what I just saw. You know,
He had-
sometimes
I'm speechless.
I
don't
know
even- I
I'm
don't-
very speechless right now.
Words?
I think he had to literally just completely miss the big game hunter in his hand. I
Yeah.
just don't see another justification. That has to be the only way that could have happened.
Yeah, I mean, wow. That's not how I
Maybe-
thought that game was gonna end.
Maybe he felt bad that he had drawn the game hunter. He's like, you know what? I don't deserve to win this one. I'm just gonna give it to him. That's
Maybe.
possible. That's a possibility.
Maybe it's just like extended BM. Like, I'm still gonna try to win this series. I just don't need this game.
He's gonna draw the big game hunter later in the series and just jam it into
Yeah.
his face. Like, no, I really need this druid to beat your other deck. Definitely a possibility, but Hunter's gonna be in the books now for Raccoon, so he ties it up, and I imagine Druid's gonna be queued up again. But Raccoon's got Paladin for this one now, and this is a matchup that I've been like really, really unhappy to face when I'm on the Druid side of things. I'm curious to your take. Blessing of Kings also, I saw Savitz playing that about a week ago, and it really strikes me as an interesting card because you have so much stuff that easily sticks to the board now in Paladin that
Yeah.
you just need something to give you a little bit of extra oomph and push forward. What do you think?
I think it's a really interesting card. It's like, I don't know, it really seals your board position if you have one, but it's just another dead card if you don't have the board, right? So I'm not sure how I feel about it. I guess it's worth testing, but personally it's not on
especially-
my list yet.
If he's got Haunted Creeper in there, I think it's like especially easy
Yeah.
to make use of Blessing of Kings.
Yeah, that's true.
So pretty straightforward turns here. Knife Juggler gets out and makes sure that it can test this Zombie Chow so that threats can get used consistently moving forward. And Tang doesn't have much to do, so he's going to be following that up with a couple of hero powers until he gets to 4 mana his availability for Senjin. Maybe
Yeah.
a swipe if he sees something like Muster for Battle here.
Yeah. I do like his plays following this turn. Senja's going to be really good. He has a swipe to clear out the Haunted Creeper afterwards. It doesn't seem like the worst hand anymore. It was definitely slow, but Paladin's not super fast unless you do have the muster start.
Yeah, Senjin, pretty straightforward stuff here. And this is actually looks like a tough turn for Raccoon. No real easy way to get through this.
Yeah, I think I like just hero powering, honestly.
Ugh.
If you see Senjin, you know from last game that he has some really big threats. You know it's Ram Druid. It sucks so much to use this Peacekeeper here, but
Um,
it has merit as well.
he does
Because
have
now
a
you
big
at
game
least
hunter
can
and
test it.
equality in his hand though, and he does have an Iron
Yeah,
Beak
that's
Owl, so
true.
Sylvanas can get answered pretty easily if something like Ragnaros hits the board. He's got some tricks up his sleeve, and if taunts become too much of a problem, he's got equality to kind of shore things up. So I don't mind Peacekeeper, but I agree with you. I think I would have liked to see him save it. And his concern is just the board getting out of control, though.
Yeah.
So this also does begin to challenge this engine and kind of challenge minions moving forward as well. So he does. There is a lot of merit to be said for pushing against your opponent and making sure that you're getting damage out of the way. And I think I would like to see that held for a turn.
Yeah, I think I would have just played Senjin. Or
Yeah,
even, yeah, probably just Senjin. I don't think there's really a reason to play Keeper.
yeah. Do you think big game hunter's coming out here?
Mm,
No, he's
I
just
don't
gonna
think
hold on
so.
to it.
Yeah, I don't think so. We
So
don't know if there's is like a Ragnaros or anything on the top end of the Druid, but we know he's Ramp Druid.
yeah. So I'm gonna start to whittle away at this 1/1 army, and just go straight for the dome. I actually like that. I like not giving your opponent
Yeah.
too much leeway on the spiders, making sure that they have to get it done in their own time.
Yeah, pop itself.
Yeah,
So it's an interesting choice. You could play Sylvanas here and like force him to trade his board. Unfortunately for him, he does have the Keeper to answer it.
yeah. He's got keeper to
Rats
answer it,
picked up.
or he can just trade his board and then
Yeah,
like
he could trade it.
yeah. I mean, he can still silence on the creeper too. A couple of options
That's true.
available to him too. This is this is kind of a tough turn actually, because I actually don't mind ancient lore and draw two cards either because you're hiding behind two taunts right now. So it's pretty
Yeah,
unlikely I think that your opponent can just straight away activate their own Sylvanas. And even if they do manage to take it, you still have a way to kill the ancient lore. So it's like that's obviously the scenario you're trying to avoid, I think, but it's not like the worst case scenario. And you can just use the right now you can just use this engines to start picking away at the 1/1 instead.
right. Now, is there any merit to equalitying so you could guarantee the steal on the lore and then owling it?
Um oh, I actually really like that play now that you mentioned that. Let's take a look at that again. So if equality's right here, he can put the spider into one of these guys. He can put the Sylvanas into the other one, take away the
Hmm.
ancient lore, and then owl it. The problem with that is when you see opposing Sylvanas,
Right.
and I think that's what he's keeping in mind.
Yeah, and you're losing two of your biggest tech cards against Druid.
Yeah. So I think he's just going to see him Defender Vargas to step up and just start pushing forward. Yeah, I like this a lot too. Both
Yeah,
of these I
it's
think
definitely
are
the strongest board.
yeah, both of these are really strong. So pretty easy handle on the Sylvanas now, but he's looking at 7 points afterwards. And where do you go with that one?
Where do you think this Wrath is going to go? The 4 point?
I think it's 1 point into the 6/3.
Oh, okay.
Trade both your
Yeah,
guys.
I can see that. Oh, wow. He's drawing for the swipe?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Swipe would be a really big draw too. You know, had he drawn swipe there, this game would have just been like a complete blowout.
Yeah, definitely. The Paladin would have had lay on hands to follow it up, but it still would have been really good for the Druid because his hand's already so filled.
You know, now that he's done that, I think he's actually just going to silence and wrath this, right?
Yeah, he has to. And then you just pass, obviously.
And just sit on his taunts or sit on his taunt in his 1/5 and hope they suck up damage. Shadows on Cleric, that's really interesting.
We must cleanse
I really like it with Haunted Creeper. I don't think I've ever really seen it played too much in Paladin, but looking at it, I really like it with Haunted Creeper. I really hated Haunted Creeper in Paladin before, but that's interesting.
Sludge Belcher gets picked up. Ancient of War and Sludge Belcher in hand. Harrison's there too, but we haven't seen a weapon. I imagine this Harrison's just going to get held on to until you see Druso
Yeah.
or until you see Alliance Justice come out one way or
We
the
see
other.
Tyrion.
Yeah. Tyrion also. I think silence maybe aimed at that one.
Yeah.
But it's always nice to Harrison a 5/3 Ashbringer. Seems
Just
to have
Black
maybe a
Knight
little
innervate Harrison.
solid play. Nice hand. Well played. Pretty big lay on hands turn.
Yeah, I definitely like lay on hands here. Your board's good enough to where you can kill this Belcher, and you have a quality for after if they flood the board too much.
Yep, he ends up with a 3/2. You know, actually, how relevant is his life total here? Because do you think there's any merit to healing up? I know this is going to sound silly, but is there any merit to like trading your guys in here, running over this 1/2 slime, and then healing your defender of Argus? Is there any
I
merit
think it would
to
have been
that?
fine. I mean, I think honestly it would have been fine. I think drawing the cards is what was important, not really the life on either of them. And you know your opponent's out of wraths.
And I think you want them to keep this at 3/2.
Right.
So that way your tiering gets through more often.
Maybe he's
All
just
right,
leaving
it's
as
a
a
terrible
3-2.
play, I'm sorry.
He's leaving it as a 3-2 to bait the keeper, obviously.
Yeah, he's baiting keeper, obviously. Yeah, obviously. Kappa.
So a lot of spells being played to just cycle 2 cards. Those wild growths late game.
Yeah, I think this is actually one of his better spots to start cycling him because he doesn't want to play the Ancient of War first and have it kind of become victimized by what's going on here. And then second of all, he wants to open up his mana so that way he never has to worry about drawing those cards ever again.
Right. Do you like that charge?
It's certainly interesting. I think what he's trying to, do is prevent something like Blessing of Kings from becoming relevant.
Right.
And I actually really like that he's gone with this play too. I would have hated to see True Silver champion here.
Yeah. True Silver would have been pretty bad into that 4-1, or at least it would have felt bad.
Yeah, it feels really bad. I think you're just more than happy to get the piloted traders down and evaluate moving forward. So, pretty big hand here from Tang. Cenarius in hand. Also able to innovate out of Shade, but I'm not sure he wants to do that just yet, because I'm sure Consecrate is going to be in his mind. And Patient
wow.
Assassin gets made, and there's still no swipe available.
Jesus.
That Patient Assassin is so brutal for Tang right now.
I'm just really glad that he decided to kill the Shredder before playing any minions. If he played like a 5-10 taunt and then trade it and saw the Patient Assassin come down, this game would have been over.
Would have been so brutal. Well, now you just make it 10-5, so that way he's only getting 5 points of damage out of a Patient Assassin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's easy play.
Just make it a Stranglepoint attacker.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Shade here. I'm just going to Hero Power. Wow, he needs to swipe so bad. That was a brutal Shredder.
He couldn't even play Scenarios because he's scared of Consecrate.
Yep, and now Raccoon going to put his faith in the light. Oh, I actually would have liked to see him not make a token here to play around Mind Control Tech as well.
Yeah.
So kind of opening himself here to a couple top decks.
But I guess he's making the token because he has Quartermaster, right? But it definitely sucks if he does have the Mind Control Tech.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a potentially really brutal Mind Control Tech.
All of them are good, except for the 1/1, obviously.
This is that spot where he needs the Black Knight, by the way. He has the Black Knight Innervate.
His double Innervate.
You gotta see Silence instead. And I would like to... Gosh, I mean, how often are you winning this game? I think you gotta go for the Doomsayer. Wow, he's going for it!
Does.
Uh,
I wanted to say it so bad.
yeah, Trogno's stupid. I mean, this is just... I mean, what can you do? He has no... The Patient Assassin is cutting off all of his lines of play.
Man. You can't innervate taunts. Do you just drop Big Game Hunter? Like, that sucks too. Or at least it feels
I think
bad.
so, yeah.
I think you have to. You need to do something, or else you're just losing this game. Yep, and he sees that play too. Oh my god, and a Black Knight.
Gosh, he's got all the answers in here.
Just
It doesn't matter what happens. He can just close his eyes and click buttons and win this one.
he's had Big Game Hunter, Owl, and Equality in his hand for so long now.
Game.
It just keeps top decking stuff to play.
Reporting for duty. My shield for Argus.
Yeah, just go to the dome. He's gonna defender up the Patient Assassin and the 2/2. Wow!
Oh my god, and now I get to
Life
swing.
gets drawn. What? A defender of Argus protects himself from. Oh my god!
Insane.
Everything going Raccoon's way this game. I mean, just what on earth could Tang have done to turn this one around? I think he's played this game pretty fantastic, and honestly, I think Raccoon's played this game really well too. But the Patient Assassin, I think, is what really, just really turned the tides in this one.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you have to charge this 2-2, but you're still in a really big losing spot right now.
Oh, it's painful. It's so painful.
So, at this point, you just bring out a 6-sider and you roll the die, right? Whichever one it gets, you play.
Let me think.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, let's rip it. Why not?
For duty.
Okay, so not the target he was looking for.
He has another shot.
He has 2 more shots if he wants.
Do you think he, Oh.
Oh, come on, come on.
I think I would have liked him to trade the Patient Assassin and just slam another minion. And then at least it would have a chance to kill the 4-1.
Ancient War gets drawn, but it's... Actually, you can play 2 Ancient Wars this turn, but it's got Iron Beak Owl and Black Knight.
And Equality and Black Knight.
He's just got all the answers from him. He's got 2 Ancient Wars and taunt this turn, and that's not going to be enough.
It doesn't matter which order. Like, he can make a 10-5 and a 5-10. They both die.
Yeah.
Crazy.
He can make 2 10-5s.
He could, and they would still both
20
die.
power on this turn.
Man. Paladin is supposed to be favored against Druid. Wow, I can't even talk. This game was
This game
These
was a
games are
slaughter.
crazy. Yeah.
And this game was a slaughter mostly because of that Patient Assassin. I mean, he had so many ways to stifle what was happening and just any way to get it done in the end of the day. I like this. It's a very conservative play he's making. I think this is probably one of his better lines of play to actually win the game. But going to be met with quite a bit of opposition here.
So which one do you think he chooses?
I think
Equality or Black Knight?
I think you equality it and then you Iron Beak Owl it and then you Black Knight it. Oh, you can't Black Knight it. It's gonna be silenced.
Yeah.
Dang.
I think you Equality and then Black Knight just to send the message.
And then silence your own guy. Yeah, there it goes.
There's the play.
Yep, Raccoon's gonna take his second game now, and so he has Paladin deck. There's a little checkbox next to it, and Mage is gonna be his last deck that he has to win at least one of the next 2 games with it. And Tang, he's still got to win with his Druid, and he's got Paladin tucked away as well. So,
What kind of mage do you think this is?
call me crazy. I think it's a mech mage.
I don't know. I think it might be some duplicate giants.
Duplicate giants. That's what you're feeling this one.
I'm feeling
Giant.
it. Raccoon, don't let me down. If you watch this later, I'm gonna be really upset.
Just giant dupes. So Freshka's calling giants and duplicates. I'm calling mech mage. If you guys want to let us know,
I think you're favored it like
let us
100
know
to
what
1.
your vote is. You can send us a little tweet and maybe some feedback if you have anything or just a comment you'd like to make. I am at That's Admirable on Twitter, and he is at Freshkanation on Twitter as well. Also, make sure you guys check out Hearthlytics.com where they got some cool stuff coming in for like competitive content wise. And one of the ones that I'm most interested in is that they're going to actually be making a comprehensive and searchable breakdown of all of the ladder systems that are going through in the 2015 season leading up to the World Championships, which means you're going to be able to see, an up-to-the-date leaderboard of who's in first, who's in second, so on and so forth, and going forward from there. So make sure you guys check that out.
Yeah, definitely. I know I already looked at it before we started.
Let the hunt begin.
So game 4 is underway right now. Whoa, it's a mech mage.
Damn it!
So you've checked out this Hearthlytics thing. I haven't had a big opportunity to mess too much around with it and see what else about. What exactly is going on here? And
They're coming out with a client, kind of like a deck tracker, where they're going to start keeping stats of everything, like different situations and the percentages of which you win those situations. And it's going to be really cool, and it'll definitely help the competitive players. And it's also really cool for like the casual players as well, because then they get to see kind of all the math that the pros have to figure out on their own, and it's just handed to them now. So it's going to be a really cool tool.
I like math handed to me.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot less work for us. Just in a match. Oh, he played a knife juggler. What's his percent chance to win? Oh, it's gonna hurt the Linux.com.
That's a good way to do it. Ivory Gal going to challenge up this Mad Scientist here, but Mad Scientist still got his eyes set on Knife Juggler, and I think that Tang is happy to get that extra point of damage. So pretty good start, I think, from both of these players. Tang's hand is not lacking whatsoever, but this Annoyatron is going to be very true to its name.
That's definitely like one of the strongest turn 3s in the game against Hunter.
Yep. Get a 2-3 on the board. Get an Annoyatron on board. Have Goblin Blast Mage backup.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So I think the Hunter here, his options are pretty limited, actually.
Yeah,
He
I
has
don't
to-
really think he's got much.
I think he just has to drop as many guys as he can. But the question is, does he play Knife Juggler or does he play the Mad Scientist? I think he has to be the Mad Scientist because he has the Unleash.
I think he's happy to play the Mad Scientist, though.
Yeah.
And the reason I think he's happy to do it is because he just... it's just, you don't want to throw the Juggler out there. That doesn't really make much sense.
Right, yeah.
He wants to get Unleash value out of the Juggler. This is kind of like back in the old Zoo versus Hunter games, where one of the best ways for Hunter to win was actually to race Zoo, but it had to get to a position where it could actually race Zoo. And one of the ways you did that was Explosive Trap, and another way you did that was with Unleash the Hounds. And way back in the day, it was Unleash the Hounds and Timberwolf that you used to push through. And you also had Starving Buzzard to couple with that to make sure that you could find Explosive Trap. But now basically what you have is you have Mad Scientist generating tempo with just strong sort of mid-sized minions. And you have Knife Juggler to back it up now because it's just a stronger minion than Timberwolf is in general. And since you don't have Starving Buzzard anymore, you can't really draw any beasts. But that Blast Mage, wow, was it bad.
That was the worst outcome possible, I think.
Do you think he should have played the Blast Mage before he attacked, right?
Well, I think he was scared of whatever the trap could have been. If he had Snake Trap, and then it happened to kill the Mad Scientist and not the Leopard Gnome, it might have been a problem, but I guess he could have just ignored the Leopard Gnome.
I can definitely see that.
How do you think he goes about trading? He wants the Mad Scientist to die, right? Especially because he has the bow now.
Oh, yeah, I think you definitely want the Mad Scientist to die.
Yeah.
The question really is a matter of what traps he has in his deck.
Yeah.
That's the biggest one. So when he does something like this, it tells me he's probably got Freezing Trap in his deck.
Whoa.
Oh,
it's
if he does
explosive.
this,
He's only
it's
playing
Trap,
explosive.
though.
Okay, that's a really good play then. Because the
Okay,
mage
so I thought-
doesn't really play Defender Virus.
Yeah, initially I assumed both minions were running into the 5-4, and that he was
Yeah.
going to have the trap left for the 2-3. But if he does it this way, it's 100% Explosive Trap. If this is not Explosive Trap, what a great bluff this is. So we're going to try to get a hover over this trap and see what it is. Wow, he's actually just going to go for it straight away, too.
I don't think he has
Yeah,
an option otherwise.
Well, I think I like playing the Mad Scientist first.
Really, just with the Mirror Entity?
Yeah, I think you value the Mirror Entity more than you value the 2-2 body.
I can see that.
You're basically playing a 2-cost Mirror Entity this way, and you're also pulling a Mirror Entity out of your deck so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, so you don't draw it later.
Yeah, because it's one of the worst draws, I think, in your deck right now.
Definitely. But he's going to choose to just play the Mad Scientist and trade with it later.
He values the presence on the board instead. You know, let me ask you this. This is going to sound a little bit weird, but having the Cogmaster out right now at the cost of having a 3-2 Spider Tank instead is something he could have done. And
Yeah,
I'm
he
curious the
could've.
merits behind that because he could have played Spider Tank, have it get dealt 2 damage by this explosive trap, but he would have played it for 2 mana also. So we'd have Mad Scientist, Cogmaster, and the Spider Tank on the board right now.
See, my only problem with that is it's going into turn 5 where Knife Juggler Unleash is possible.
Okay.
So I don't think I would play it I don't think I would have played it like that because having the health on the Spider Tank is actually really important.
Okay.
But I do think that play is interesting.
Arcane Golem he's just gonna start going for Dome now. Wow, down to 13. Mirror Entity gets drawn too.
The worst draw, and that would have
Oh.
been prevented if you went the original play of
Oh my god.
playing the Mad Scientist.
So the race has
Man.
begun, but I gotta believe this is kind of a losing one here for Raccoon. He's down. He's at
I
13.
mean, he
He's
could
up
draw
to
another
20.
Fireball, right?
Now he definitely could, but I gotta think that this is really, really potentially dangerous.
Yeah.
Because if he plays
Do
Knife
you play the
Juggler,
Knife Juggler here?
I think you do. I think you get this. I think you let him have the Mirror Entity proc, and I think you unleash the Hounds afterwards.
Yeah. But then do you have to kill his minions so you don't die to the fireballs?
That's another big question too. Is does he want to attack this Spider Tank before he does any of that?
Right.
He's also got another copy of Explosive Trap in his deck, so he might be thinking that if his Scientist sticks to the board and he doesn't die next turn, that he's just, sitting pretty ready to win the game.
Right. Yeah. I'm not really sure how scared I would be of him having 2 fireballs when he has 2 cards in his hand. Because he hasn't really drawn that many cards.
Yep.
So I think I
he's
would have
gonna,
liked to see the Knife Juggler.
Yeah, but I think he's going to go Mad Scientist, Glaive Zuka here and just set up for next
Yeah.
turn.
Which I think is fun as well.
Yeah, this also, even if his opponent has Frostbolt this way, he still will damage off lethal.
Yep.
So everything going right. Dr. Boom is not going to be enough. And wow.
There's going to be a lot of
5,
dogs coming on the board.
Yep. This is, unless there's an ice barrier or something tucked into this deck.
Just
is like-
a random one of Ice Block.
Yeah, there's no more secrets left. So that's going to do it. Tang is going to take game 4 here now. And this series is going to get tied up. And Raccoon's going to have one more chance to win with his Mech Mage deck. And Tang is going to have to use his last deck to try to take this out, which is Paladin. And from what I remember, Paladin does not always match up too perfectly versus Mech Mage.
Yeah, he definitely needs a really good draw. If he gets too much late game, then he could just die.
Look at this Unleash the Hounds madness. Why did he play
And
the
he
Mech
has-
Juggler first?
I don't know. I guess it didn't really matter. Is there like any scenario where his knives could have just hit the boombots and killed his wolves?
I'm curious.
Does
Let me
not
ask you
have
this.
lethal?
So if he plays Knife Juggler and Unleash the Hounds, and the first Hound's knife hits a boombot, and the second one hits a boombot, does he get less tokens generated from it?
I actually have no idea. I don't think so. I don't think so.
I'm curious.
Because if your
So it is
knives
making them one by
kill,
one.
yeah, but if your knife kills another minion, it doesn't do that, right?
I don't know.
Oh no,
Is it
it gives
not?
you all the dogs, even if the knife
Okay.
kills it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I actually didn't know. I've never really
Okay.
seen that happen. I mean, I'm
I
sure
thought
I've
it was
seen
just
happen,
like-
not paid attention to it, but like
Right. Yeah.
you could get less dogs because the boombots could actually kill the dogs. Wait, does the
Right,
boombot
yeah.
trigger in the middle of making the dogs, or does it go off after all the dogs are done being made? That's another good question. Because if it
That
goes
one I
off in
don't
the
know.
middle of the dogs being made, it really actually matters where the juggles hit the dogs.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Game 5 is going to be up, though. Tang's going to have to win with Druid? Oh, yeah, he did.
Oh yeah.
He didn't win with Druid. He
He
actually
didn't.
won
He
with
didn't play the
Paladin.
big
You're
game
right.
hunter.
You're right,
Yeah.
because he didn't play that big game hunter on a 10% beast.
Oh man.
Felt bad. Look at this opening from Raccoon, too.
And he picks up the Anthonitis for the late game.
I think I got to favor turn 1 Mad Scientist here.
It's always so good to get Mirror Entity against Ramp Druid. If they don't play Zombie Chow, there's no bad target.
Here's 2 sides of it. If you go with Cogmaster and you decide to coin Clockwork Gnome, your opponent has to make the decision to either take 4 extra damage or to use Wild Growth if they have a Wild Growth.
Right.
If you play Mad Scientist, your opponent's Wild Growthing every time they have it. If you play this Cogmaster, sometimes this will get Wrathed, and sometimes your opponent will Wild Growth, I think. But when you play the Clockwork Gnome alongside with it, though, you take away, I think, the potential to get Wrathed. So, in that vein, if you want something like the Mad Scientist to stick to the board until it's on your terms, I like actually going for the Wrath there instead.
Yep, definitely. And right now, I don't really see a good minion for the Druid to give to Mirror Entity. I guess just Keeper, but that seems bad too, because then you have to waste your Keeper. He could silence the Mad Scientist.
Yeah, I think the Keeper is going to be targeted at the Mad Scientist next turn.
Yeah. But he's going to
So
have
everything
a really
gonna come
big
down
board
here?
to look at.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just casually,
yep.
turn 3, play my whole hand, you know? What fair decks do. Do you think he's thinking about saving this coin?
I mean, obviously it's something. I mean, it's the only thing you really have to think about right now. So you might as well start, looking at turn 4, 5, 6, 7, and seeing how, reasonable it is to save. There's a chance he also saves this Clockwork Gnome. I think. Nah, he's just gonna go for it.
No.
Check it.
You have to just play everything right because
Yeah,
Druids don't really have too good of board clears.
Wow, he's
I
gonna
can see
save.
the merit. Well, I can see the merit saving the 1 health minion.
I really like this. Yeah, I really like this because you're going to see swipe here so often anyway that there's not like too big of a reason. Now, that being said, I still would have played the Clockwork Gnome, I think. Because when your opponent has swipe here, I think you're just going to be kind of eating the dust anyway.
Yep, there's a silence that he's forced to make.
Yep. I mean, because this Clockwork Gnome now...
Game over.
This Clockwork Gnome could be very efficiently trading in and making sure this Keeper of the Groves not doing too much and also just getting in some damage while he can.
Definitely.
Let me ask you this. Did Tang feel so confident in his matchup versus the Hunter deck that he lost with this Ram Druid deck so that he could put it into the Mage later?
That's possible. I mean, I guess it's like one side of the mind game of the new Conquest format. Like, if you do have a deck where I specifically want this deck to handle the other one. No, that doesn't work, though, because even if you beat it, then it could still beat the other decks, right?
It could, but that's what I'm saying. Does he feel so confident?
Oh, yeah, to where
His
he just threw it and just wanted to shot.
It's like, you know what? I've seen enough of this deck. I know that my matchups are good against it. I'm going to throw this game, put my Ramp Druid into your mech page, since I have Senjins, Sludge Belchers, Druids of the Claws, and Ancient of Wars.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that
and it definitely would have been it would have been like front page Reddit too, like him just talking shit, just like, yeah, I threw this game on purpose just because I knew I'd win the last one.
Wow, that'd be like so mad. That may be a little bit too conspiracy theory.
Yeah, and I don't think if he can go back in time, he would do the same thing. And maybe he just missed the play because he's under pressure. Maybe this is the first time he's been on a stream.
Definitely possible. But this board, regardless of which, gets chewed apart now. But that is a finicky cloak field for that Tinnitus. And that could potentially be disastrous. I've been on the receiving end of that before, and it is ugly.
Yep.
Damage just being thrown to face here. Hoping to get stuff done.
I like that thing a lot. It forces him to trade, for sure. Even though I don't think there's a scenario where he doesn't want to trade. I guess maybe second swipe.
Yep, I actually like the Senjin here too to squeeze in the hero power.
Yep, clear off all the mechs.
Yep. So 2 cogs in hand for Raccoon, but nothing else. Archmage Antonius is studying some books until he's ready. Second finicky cloak field too.
Oh my
wow,
God.
This could be.
And that Drake's a big draw.
I think you use a cloak field on this Drake. That's what I think. Whoa! And look where that Drake's sitting. So huge. He doesn't want to intern.
Oh my God! He's like, no, give me my time. Let the rope burn.
Life coach senpai.
It's like the reverse Nas Dormu. You have to play the whole turn.
Each player's end turn button is taken away. Strike's about to get put in his place, by the way.
I like the ref for 1, because then it lets you still play Belcher, rather than having to hero power instead.
Yeah, Senjin had to go across the world for that one, too.
Senjin's probably tired.
Yep. So, pretty easy stuff here from Raccoon. Just got Bless Mage, 5-4, and then go ahead and ping it off. And next turn, he's got access to this Archmage and a couple of...
Look at how many fireballs he's gonna have. He already has 1. Oh man.
Yeah, this is looking pretty brutal.
And I haven't seen Tang play any pieces of the combo, so I can't imagine he's gonna get bursted down.
I have no time for games.
You know, this Sylvanas is pretty heads up.
It's really good.
Yep, making sure that he can get around something like Archmage. You know, if you think about that card in the very far left side of your opponent's hand, it's been there for a very long time. There's a high likelihood that it's something like Frostbolt or Fireball, but there's also a pretty decent likelihood that it's something like Archmage. And so now Raccoon's going to have to think about how this turn pans out, because if he plays this Archmage and then Cloak Fields it, he loses his Archmage. So this is actually like another really heads-up play from him to make sure that he trades down his board first, is patient with his Fireball, and make sure he gets his Archmage backed up behind that.
Yeah, both players are playing really well. So these fireballs have to go to the face, right? Like there's no other play. You just make Antonitis stealth him.
Yeah, I think after that you just have to but it doesn't have the damage to finish you.
Right. Does this Ancient Allure actually give him enough time to race?
It looks like it. I mean, he's at 18. He's at 19 as it stands. Oh, second Ancient Allure.
Wow. So as long as he heals with both of them, I feel like he could still win.
I think at this point, see now when this happens, I think you're looking a lot more at fireballing minions at this point. Like your opponent's at such
Just
a high
so you
level.
don't lose.
Yeah, so I think at this point you actually just might be able to take control with all the fireballs. Because Archmage can start chewing away at these taunts. Ah, gosh, I don't know. Are you worried about combo at all? I mean, you are
I
playing.
don't think you're worried about combo.
You're playing against Ramp Druid, so it's not like the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, they might have like the one out of Savage Roar, Force of Nature, but
Yeah.
I don't think you play around it.
What to do?
So he's going to take 14, 15, 16 just from what's on board. So he has to at least fireball this 5/5.
Yeah, I think Fireball on the 5/5 is for sure happening.
Yeah,
I think Archmage is for sure killing a tree.
definitely.
I would
think
like
the other
to see-
fireball goes to the face.
I don't know. I
He
think.
could.
Yeah, I think he's. I think you just go for the choke right now. I think you cloak field at this guy. You drop down. You know, you take your risk. This is 7 points of damage across the other side of the board. So if your opponent's got Druid of the Claw, they have 11. And like you said, I don't think he's really worried about combo at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So if he gets past this turn, he's got 2 fireballs next turn, plus the Annoyatron to back that up. And I think after that, he might have actually recovered.
Yeah, the Anartron's going to be really good because Druids tend to just have really big minions. So he has to hero power and then put a lot of damage into the Anartron.
This Ancient Lore, I think, is going to draw now.
Really? I guess
so.
he should, right? Because he's running out of cards.
Yeah, he just needs options at this point.
Yeah.
Sludge Belcher's
The
pretty
iterate
good.
could be Sludge Belcher.
Yeah, I think he's gonna. I think that's exactly what he's gonna do.
But is he worried about mind control tech at all?
I don't think so. I don't think from Mech Major thinking about mind control tech.
Well, time to put mind control tech in my mech mage.
Got him. Yep. So Raccoon's down to 7 now, and that's actually a Black Knight. On the other hand, oh, Frostbolt gets picked up. That's actually pretty darn important right now.
Yeah, you could Frostbolt the 5/8.
Oh my gosh,
Fireball the 5/5.
that's a really important draw.
Yeah, he does have a keeper for the Anotron, but it's still not enough.
Oh, wait a minute.
Not this
He
turn.
can keeper his own
Oh yeah, his
Scenarios,
5.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if he sees the
Is that
silence
lethal?
on his own scenarios, that's lethal.
Yep. That's lethal. I don't think Tang's gonna make 2 misplays to lose the game. Oh wow.
Oh my gosh, I'm not sure he sees it right now.
He's BMing. He's gonna try to draw spite or something and just have extra damage.
Four,
Okay.
5, 6. That's 1 mana off of being able to wants to do. He's gonna miss lethal. Wow,
Oh my
Tang
god.
barely missteps. I don't think it matters though, because Raccoon's gonna be at 1, and does he have a way to deal 26 points of damage or recover from what's happened?
Alex Shaza? No, it's not even good enough, I don't
Yeah,
think.
I mean he missed lethal, but I think this is good. I think this is lethal enough. At the end of the day, you know, you're gonna see fireballs get flung around everywhere. Yeah, I got loads of them. You get a fireball, and you get a fireball. Everyone gets a fireball.
How many fireballs were played this game?
Archmage and to Winfrey. Wow.
And there's still
And then
3 in the
Larry John's
hand.
played, and it's just not enough. And he's like, "Hey, by the way, I just want to let you know, I could have done that. And by the way, I could have killed you last turn." No, come on, show the keeper.
Oh,
That's gonna do it. Tang is gonna take this match 3-2. What a close one. And wow. I mean, you talk about. I'm really thinking about how actually pretty well these guys have been playing. And when I think about that big game hunter turn on the Beast, I think that there's a legitimate chance that he did not big game hunter it because he wanted this matchup.
yeah. It's possible. He might not be too familiar with the Conquest match. And he's like, I really don't want to lose this because I want to be able to beat the Mech Mage. So it's possible.
Yeah, I think it's a definite possibility.
Yep.
Crazy. All right, so I mean that's gonna do it for that one. Congratulations.
Can you
to Tang.
imagine?
Go on.
Can you imagine he just like sees the matchup and just concedes? Just like, nah, I'll be back later.
He's like,
Just
hang on.
quits.
This isn't the one I wanted. Let me tuck this one away. I'll get that one out in a second here. No, you win this one. You got it. Yeah. Go ahead. Take off. So, you know, big congratulations to Raccoon from Team Goomba Storm. Unfortunately, falling short here. It's a big field to come through to get 4th place. My goodness, 128 player field.
Yeah.
Wow, Tang moving on to the finals. Man, Ramp Druids getting it done.
You must